treadmill, just strolling. It's a little too dark to walk outside, but I wanted to walk. And I had some thoughts on my mind. So I saw a beautiful young woman. I forgot her name. She actually had been to one of my events before, but I know she's a model. She was kind of talking about straight men being a red flag and men need to learn how to treat women, and why don't you approach us like this? Why don't you nurture the relationships? Why don't you care more? All of these things. Hi. And when I was listening to her speak, it just reminded me of something really important I wanted to share with you guys. So I still want to be married, right? I've always wanted to be married, have a family, have kids. It's ingrained in me, and it's something that means a lot to me. 2017, so we're in 2025. Back in 2017, I went back to my journal from that time. And all I was just wondering, like, God, what do I need to do to position myself for a man? I want to be married. How's a good man going to find me? Like my husband, my family, my kid, just on and on. And I don't think like that anymore. Yes, I want to be married. Yes, I will still pop his baby, all of these things. But to look at myself 8 years ago and to now, one of the major reasons I became a life coach is to help and support women through this journey. Back then, which was 8 years ago, if you would have told me that 8 years later, thank you. He said, I love your takes on relationships. Thank you. If you would have told me back in 2017 that as bad as I wanted a husband, that 8 years later I would not be married, I probably would have died right there. Like, what you mean? I'm sitting up here in 2017 thinking, okay, maybe he'll come in like a year or two, maybe, I don't know. 8 years, I still don't have a husband, right? But I don't think like that old version of me. Like, I want to share, and I want to try to do this as succinctly as possible for y'all to explain how to surrender. It's not what we want to hear. It's not what we want to do. We want what we want when we want it. And I get that. However, what would you do if you knew that the thing that you wanted most in life wasn't coming anywhere near the time that you think it should come? What do you do? And this is where we have an opportunity to surrender. Not only that, but I've grown so much from 8 years ago. Now I'm in a wonderful position to actually choose a mate wisely. Why? Because our parents love them, but they didn't teach us how to choose a mate. What, find a man in the church? That's all you got? Not gonna work. So we are in a beautiful position in our age and day to learn enough about ourselves to make informed decisions. Everybody that wants to get married, wants to do what their parents say, wants to, be with somebody, they're lonely, they want to start a family, they're turning 35. There's all these reasons why we're like, I just need to be married. You've got to examine, one, why you want it so bad. Because in that, you will find some of the holes within yourself. Whole people are not like desperate for marriage. When you're whole, you're not desperate to go. You have everything that you need. So therefore, you're more in position to align with what will complement you. You need to have something that's going to complement you. Not just have a man, not just have a wife, not just, How long are you willing to wait? And it's not about the length of time or waiting, but it's like, how can you get to a space where you're prioritizing yourself? Because most of the women, because I used to be one of these women that complain about how men are and what men aren't doing and all this and that, you got to let go. Your only priority should be to put yourself in position to move accordingly. My friend is blowing up my phone. It's throwing me off. It's up to us. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I don't have bad interactions with men. No man has ever asked me about any of the wild stuff we see trending on Instagram. I haven't had, obviously I'm not married yet, but I can't really say that my relationships and men have been just so terrible. That there are terrible things that happen, and there are terrible things that are going on. Don't get me wrong. But what took me a long time, I had to learn to honor my intuition. Y'all, women and men, your intuition will tell you something, but your ego needs to F around and find out. That's on you. That's not on men this day and age. That's not on society. Everything that happens in life is on you. And that should make you happy. Why? Because you can actually change that. You can't change society. You can't change males. You can't change the way people choose to operate, but you can choose who you want in your orbit. I remember so many times I bypassed what I knew in my spirit. Oh, well, maybe it's not that bad, or maybe I'm just excited, or maybe it's butterflies, or maybe you need to leave him alone and just stop answering the phone calls. Why do we not have the courage to follow our intuition? That should be a far larger topic than 50-50 and being married before 35. Like, I want to expound on this more, but I just wanted to pop in here because relationships seem to be the biggest topic of the social media sphere, and everybody wants to hear about these things. But the beauty of what I share and operate on in my life coaching is you. Everything that you do and experience stems from you. So we need to talk about you. Why you do the things you do, why you put yourself around the people why you put up with what you put up with. Why do you put up with certain stuff? Why do you give people passes? Do you give people passes and opportunities because people don't give them to you? Because you wish your parents would have been kinder, or you wish such and such would have given you a chance, so now you are giving other people chances that they don't deserve so you can heal the part of you that deserved more? Like, we have to really start, everything is about you. How you think, how you feel, how you decide to operate. When it comes to relationships, money, jobs, any and everything that we talk about, the root of it is you. And if you can get to the root of why you do what you do, why you put yourself in situations that you put yourself in, why you tolerate what you tolerate, then your life would change. When it comes to my life coaching, I don't tell people how to be. You already have the answer. We just need to move everything that's in the way of what you already know, so you can actually be authentic. A lot of us are too afraid to be honest with ourselves. So that's why when you meet a guy, he's cute, he's tall, the conversation's cool, you start fantasizing about what things could be and have completely ignored what's really in front of you. Your intuition whispered to you already that this isn't it, and that's okay. But you don't want to walk away because you have a scarcity mindset. You think, I'm not going to find a guy that's, oh, well, he's near now, and every relationship has problems. You're a negotiator. Y'all got inner negotiators. When you know something ain't for you, oh, well, maybe. And he just got out of a breakup, so he's probably whatever. Oh, maybe I didn't hear what I heard. He's just having a bad day. Oh, maybe they're not really like that. I can understand, because you're just negotiating and convincing yourself for what? That's your ego. That's not your soul. Your soul already told you to walk. Now your ego thinks you'll look good with this man, or this must be what you want. You know what I'm saying? You guys get what I'm saying. We be tricking ourselves out of our rightful positions by settling for what? Why are we doing that? These are the only conversations we should be having when it comes to dating. Why do you do what you do? It ain't him. It ain't her. If there's any men watching, it ain't her. Whatever problems he or she has, okay, we all got problems, but you sitting up there dealing with it and then want to hop on the internet and talk about society. It's not society, it's you. And So I started this by sharing back in 2017. I looked at my journal and how deeply, damn near desperately, I wanted to be married. And I still want to be married. It's just not the center of my life. I have been blessed to be single. Singleness, especially in this time and age, is a blessing because I got to put all my focus on me. I got to deeply examine who I am. Why do I think this way? Why do I feel this way? Why am I struggling? Why do I hurt so badly? Why am I so frustrated? Why is this not working? Like, to really sit alone and do that type of work. No kids, no husband, no distraction, just me and my stuff. Sorting out me from the betterment of my own life. And it's the most valuable thing I could ever ask for. And it has positioned me, baby, in these dating streets. I'm a queen. Men treat me like straight royalty. I try to help people because I can get you there faster. I can help you identify where you keep stubbing your toe at. You stubbing your toe in the dark. We just gonna move that bedpost. Until God, David Washington says, until God does something different in our lives, our process is a major part of a person's identity. Yeah, and so here's the thing, right? For God to do something different in our life, you got to couple with God. God is within you. God is not something so far outside of you that's just sitting down looking. I'm not saying you're saying this, David, but I'm just sharing. God is not an entity looking down at you like, okay, yeah, now let's give them this or let's do this. Our superpower is being able to co-create with the God within. God is within us. And that's why I started this conversation talking about surrender. Like I said, back in 2017, as bad as I wanted a husband, I knew that 2025 would come around and I would still be unmarried. Baby, that would have took me out. I would have been like, oh my God, what is wrong with me? How come and why? And I'm so lonely and I'm not. I am more primed, perfect, and ready for the type of partner that makes sense to me than I've ever been in my entire life. That's what you want. But nobody wants to wait. Waiting has such a negative connotation, but maybe, like, what other word can we find besides wait? Waiting just sounds like you're like, do. You should be very active. I have a whole life. And I'm not lonely. And I have been given a gift to grow in ways that I wouldn't have been able to do had I been married. You can still grow in marriage, so I'm not saying that. I'm talking to people who feel like they're in a prolonged state of singleness or that they really, really, really want to mate. Men can smell that desperation, by the way. I don't know how it goes the other way around. No, yeah, well, I do, obviously. But we got to do our own self-work first. I'm a life coach. You don't have to hire me, but get in coaching, get in therapy, get in something that will help you start to at least clear away some of your stuff so that you can make choices and decisions that benefit you because this is your life. I'm going to tell you now, you ain't expired at 35, 36, 40, 44. Don't let these narratives fool you. And even if people do feel that way, align yourself with people that don't. There's like billions of people in the world, and we have such an opportunity to pick and choose. Stop being nice. Because when you're nice, you're bypassing. That's a performance. Oh, well, I felt bad, or oh, I wanted this. You're people pleasing and being nice and giving away your time, energy, and resources to people who don't deserve it. David Washington says, again, our other word rather than wait is proceed. Oh, I like that. Proceed. Proceed towards the route. You're heading in a direction. The thing is in the GPS. It's greatness. It's popping. It's beauty. It's love. It's family. It's whatever you want it to be. Proceed. Even on road trips, you're not stopping at every gas station. As a matter of fact, unless I really have to go, I'm not stopping at nothing that don't look like I should. You know what I'm saying? Be picky with your life and who you spend the most precious thing that you have with, which is your energy. We're downplaying ourselves, we're downplaying what's possible, and we're letting what we see in each moment define who we are without giving ourselves an opportunity to see more about who we are. Don't let society inform your decisions. Society doesn't have to live your life. You will be in trouble if you allow society and social media to tell you how to do things and when you need to do it. And aside from that, it'll also be your downfall if you allow your ego to tell you that. You looking at social media, somebody says, ooh, somebody said this the other day. I was like, oh my God. And it was a guy, I like his content, but to me, he missed the mark with this. He was like, women over 40 who are single, say they're single by choice, are a red flag. Sir. Then he proceeded to talk about all this stuff, and I get it. He may have been talking about a small minority of people, but you hear stuff like that, and your ego tells you, well, you don't want to be a red flag. You don't want to be stuck like those girls. Oh my God, 40 and single, and you go on and on and on. Then you go outside and make bad decisions, and you end up single at 40 anyway, because the 5-year marriage you just got in with somebody you had no business with didn't work out, and now you're divorced at 41. And it happens, but do you get where I'm saying with that? When you allow what's outside of you to dictate how you function, you're going to pay the price. Not the man on social media. Stop caring what other people think and have to say and live your life according to who you are. And when I say live your life according to who you are, that means you got to know who you are. That means you got to spend time with yourself. You got to be honest with yourself. Give yourself an opportunity to explore your layers. Because guess what? I know it's so funny. The quality of men that I meet now, it's just like, wow, they're really men. Not males, not dudes, just they're still men I have to weed, males I have to weed through. Don't get me wrong. But it's just different when you're aligned. Single by default. Single by default, single by choice. Whatever your life path brings you to, it's fine. Surrender, y'all. Stop trying to force something that ain't. You're bypassing all of the goodies that are on your path because you're trying to keep up with something that doesn't exist. And nobody has it right? We're just now getting to the point where we're learning how to discuss trauma, pain, healing, mother wounds, integrating the masculine and feminine aspects of self. We're just now having these conversations. These were not widespread conversations, so now everybody's an expert. Now somebody can tell you you're not doing a good job because you're not married by whatever age they literally made up. Who said that? If you're uncomfortable in your singleness, it's an opportunity to give yourself the time, effort, and energy you need for you. It's only going to put you in a better pathway to enjoy your dating experiences. There's no piss in the dating pool. Men are all this and women do that. We don't need any more of that. We don't need any more of it. It's not serving anybody, and it's not even correct. That is faulty information. And we run it with it because we've had a handful of bad encounters. Why? Because people don't want to do the work on themselves. People don't want to sit down long enough to deal with their demons, their misalignments, their self-confusion. You feel a way, like I can say this, right? I was looking for a validation that I wanted from my father in different men. And my dad is present. My dad loves me. My dad's amazing. But the way I was processing some of the stuff that was going on was telling me something different. I was getting different messaging. Had nothing to even do with my dad. So then what was I doing? I was going out and dating men that I needed to prove myself to. If I'm not able to unwind what's going on up in here so I can actually change what's going on out here in the real world in my life? What am I really doing? How are you going to raise children? How are you going to be a good spouse? You can't untie your own stuff. You don't even know why you're fussing with the man you got. And he's supposed to figure that out, and you mad at him when really it's some work you're supposed to be doing? Get good at doing the self-work. That's how you love on your husband. That's how you keep from traumatizing your kids. You know? I definitely still plan on having at least one baby. People get real, I got friends older than me that are still popping them out. So I had to set that fear aside. But boy, oh boy, the amount of karma and confusion I have cleared and cleaned from my own body and mind only puts me in position to be an even better mother. I don't have to take my kid through all of those lessons. I still got my lessons to learn, but and again, this is not to down anybody if you had kids early or this or that. This is just I'm just sharing kind of like my story, my perspective. I'm seeing what people are thinking about, talking about how they're feeling and how unnecessary so much of it is. And it was really eye-opening to look at my journal from 8 years ago. I was like, girl, I'm gonna need you to get it together. But what was beautiful about it is I was searching and I was seeking and I was asking and I was fighting. I knew the way I felt was off. It was crunchy. And those inquiries and that fight that I put in 8 years ago, I just felt that in my solar plexus. Boy, oh boy, did it pay off, because the woman I am today versus then, if I didn't get anything, I got growth. And sometimes I'll speak for myself, sometimes I'll be like, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Am I supposed to be Hercules? Like, am I supposed to be the Incredible Hulk? I just want to be soft and happy. But I wouldn't trade anything for the growth, the stability, the beauty, and the purification that I have in my life right now. All of the tears were actually worth it, and I never thought I would say that. I used to really live in a state of despair. I could function. I was a high-functioning, depressed person. But I knew the light in my soul was just so bright, and there was just all this stuff. Get rid of the stuff. Get rid of the stuff. It's nobody but you. So anyways, it was fun to kind of chat about this. You guys are so powerful, and I'm going to come on here every day and remind you how powerful you are, and that you don't have to suffer if you don't want to. I mean, there are hard things in life, so let me not act like that, anguish, anger, despair, crying, like all of these things are part of the human experience. So have that. Yes, and it doesn't have to those seasons expire. Don't bring them into new seasons. Don't let them take you over. Your beautiful, bright soul deserves to shine. And all of us that are here at the same time, we want to see that from you. We don't want you depressed crying in your room when you're supposed to be outside creating opportunities. We don't want you covering up who you are because your self-esteem is low when you're supposed to be out here showing us some stuff. You have a gift. I just thought of that song when we were in, what's that song we used to sing in like kids' Bible study? Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. What's that song? Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Yeah, don't hide your light under a bushel. Don't let nobody blow it out. Don't let life blow it out. Like, you have all of the power. You have the power. So what you gonna do with it? You gonna do what needs to be done so you can pop all the way off? Or are you gonna remain a victim of your own circumstances that in fact you created? knowingly or unbeknownst to you. You still created it. Even if other people had hand in it, you have the power to unwind it. It's the only way. And it's the beautiful part of the journey. It's the growth. You're not missing anything. Where you're at right now is right exactly where you're supposed to be. You're not late. Baby, oof. I would be in prayer with God, like, why are you doing this to me? Meanwhile, God is like, girl, I'm trying to get you exactly where you said you wanted to go. Just work with me here. It's our job to co-create with God. Waiting on the Lord or waiting for God to do stuff, that's like David said in the chat, like, proceed, keep going. You're literally getting there. You asked for something, it's making its way to you. That's not a joke. That's not pretend. It only becomes a fallacy when you allow your ego and the smaller version of yourself to remind you what you're not getting, what you don't have, what is wrong, why this, why that. Like, we got to clean that stuff up. That is the only way. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this message, like, comment, subscribe, the whole deal. Catch me on $1 Million Secret on Netflix, premiering March 26th. And I'll catch you on the flip side. Thank you so much for tuning in and showing me love. And I hope you got something from this message. Anybody have any questions before I go? Should I do I don't know. Should I do a free group life coaching type of a situation? Would you guys be into that? I know a lot of people, I used to do group coaching, and sometimes it's low-key letting people in your business, but sometimes you just learn from the other people who are asking their questions. And as we have discussions and share, you glean answers to your own life. I'm going to try to put more together. I'm a life coach, but I don't really lead with that. And I'm not really salesy because I don't know. I'm not a sales and marketing person. I'm kind of well, they heard me. I'm a life coach. If you like what I'm saying, then you can hit me up. I'm not going to try to. I was like that in real estate too. I got my real estate license when I was 19. And, sales is different. You really got to fight the objections and do this and that. I was a terrible real estate agent because I'd be like, look, y'all like the house or you don't. I can't convince you. You're the one who has to live here. I'm just positioning myself as a resource. I can't, but anyways, I'm going down a tangent. But yeah, anyways. All right, y'all. I'm done. Talk to you soon.